Perfect. Okay. Welcome back to Live from the Lair. We are broadcasting from each individual person's house. It's so cool. I actually own the Lair, though, just to be clear. So everyone knows my co-host, Pat, or my host, and I guess I'm the co-host. However you want to work that out, Pat.
It's not important.
So what we're going to do, this is our last segment, and we've brought in folks from all around the United States. So we really try to get hard-hit states, and we want to hear everybody's stories. So what we'll do really quick is we'll go around the room, and if you wouldn't mind, just introduce yourself and tell us what state or city, however you want to do that, that you're from. And let's go ahead and just tell us what you do for a living. So are you an essential worker or not? So we kind of know what's going on, and then we'll kind of follow around with another round of questions. So I'm going to call on folks because I don't think we're on the same order. So Shauna, you're to my left on the screen. If you want to tell us your information first.
Sure. I am from Queens, so I'm in New York City, you know, one of the hubs of everything that's happening right now. And as of today, there's 167,000 cases in just the 5 boroughs. So that's not including Long Island, which is like 5 miles away. That's not including that. It's not including like upstate, which is like just borders, the Bronx. So that's also very far away. So that's just like in our little bit. And there's about 40,000 recovered people so far in just New York City. And then there's been about 13,000 deaths as of today, just in our little, which is like super crazy and very weird to think about. My job has been closed since March 16th. Okay. That was on the Sunday before I guess it would be the mayor, de Blasio, before he closed down everything. And so that officially happened on the 23rd, on Monday the 23rd is when everything closed down. We were put into quarantine and, you know, whatnot. And I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer, performer. I'm a dance teacher. I'm at my dance studio right now. I'm very fortunate that I have a bike and I live close to where I work, so I can get to work still and do my job here. And it's only been me and my boss, who's also like one of my best friends. We see each other in passing, but there's been nobody else here for like 6 weeks. So it's really sad because it's a place that's usually filled with like love and laughter and kids. And it's just been like me, like here almost every day, just teaching all by myself. But yeah, so I sit on Zoom for like 6 hours at a time. Sometimes like waiting my kids, we have different like meetings for each class. So like the kids come in when it's their time to, you know, to take their class and stuff. So yeah.
So you're a pro with the Zoom stuff. So
I've become a pro. Yes. At first it was really scary. And I was like, nobody's going to want to do this. Everyone's going to want to quit. But not all of the parents, but the majority of the parents are like, thank you for still doing this. It helps the kids out, you know, and even if like the kids don't fully participate, they're still like somewhat engaged and they have a schedule. And then like on the other side, I'm a performer. I still train, I still choreograph. And there's been like so many online Zoom dance classes to take. It's like kind of overwhelming because like everybody's doing their own like online Zoom class. So I think I've taken more dance class in the past few weeks than I've taken like before this happened. So, you know, it's that in that aspect, it's kind of good. But yeah. And my company's been having like rehearsal the past few weeks. So that's kind of made everything feel normal. It's different, but it's still nice to move and to connect and yeah.
Very nice. Thanks for sharing. We're going to come back and ask you more New York questions, of course, but let's move on to Crystal. She's next on my screen. Hi.
Hi.
Where are you at?
Huh?
So where are you at? What do you do?
Okay, so I'm in Louisiana. Way south. Yeah, I'm over here in a really small town called Slaughter, Louisiana. I'm relatively close to Baton Rouge. I usually say I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Let's see what the statistics that I had got from our website. I got like the amount that was reported to date. Was that correct, right? I got the amount was 28,001 cases reported in the entire state of Louisiana, and then 1,862 deaths. I can't even say that right. It gives me anxiety. And then like in my small little parish where I'm from, which is East Feliciana Parish, it's 122 cases and 14 deaths. So I think it's mainly more like the New Orleans area and like Lafayette area where they have like the most cases than where I'm at. And let's see, our stay-at-home order started on March 22nd. And then I think today or yesterday on the website, they told us that it is going to be extended till May 15th.
Okay.
So, because it was supposed to be over tomorrow, but now it's extended till May 15th.
Now, are you working or anything?
I'm not. I've actually been at home for like well, before the stay-at-home order started, I was at home since January. So I've been off of work like January, February, and originally was going to go back to work in April after my wedding, but then all of this happened. So I normally work so I should be more specific. I normally work like in like oil refineries, chemical places like PPG and stuff. I do, I'm an industrial insulator, so I put like insulation on like piping and stuff like that. So I work basically seasonally, usually when we're in high demand. So I don't necessarily always have to be at work because thankfully my fiance works full time throughout the entire year. But right now, even if I did want to go back to work, I can't. Like some of us are considered essential, but not others. So like the only people that are working right now currently, like at Exxon, Valero and stuff like that are like, stuff that needs to be done like immediately. So like my fiance, he's a welder, so he's doing like repairs at like a plant down the road because that's stuff that has to be done. Otherwise like the plant will explode, whatever. But like for regular like small maintenance work, they don't have people working right now doing that stuff.
Okay. And so with oil prices being low and stuff, they really wouldn't even need you guys. Nobody's using oil right now, right? I mean, for the most part.
So that affects us in the way because like, so say when everything does start back up, like if we would normally get paid like, I don't know, like ballpark for like some people, like say your prices are from like 20 to like 36, 40, whatever, depending on, you know, your level, the prices that people get paid are going to significantly lower because the prices of gas are lower. So like say if my fiance were to get paid like X amount, like say like $40, he can end up just making like $20, $25 or $30. Like he doesn't know how badly it's going to impact them. But every time the prices of gas go really, really low, it affects them in like the terms of what they're going to get paid like during the time frame that it's low.
I didn't know they can change it like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, because you're basically like a third party contractor because you don't work directly for like the only people that work directly for like Exxon and stuff are like the operators and the people that are there like daily. But like what we do is like we're third party contractors that we come in and do maintenance work or whenever the plant shut down and stuff like that. So normally they pay these people more because they want you to like go in while the plant shut down, get the job done. But right now, since the gas is so low and stuff, when they are going to bring people back into work, they're not going to be paying what they usually pay.
That's awful.
Especially the pipeline people. Those are the people that are affected the most.
See, and I wouldn't have even known that. I'm glad we all got together. Megan, let's hear your story. Where are you from? What you do?
I'm from Bradenton, Florida, Anna Maria Island. I'm on the Gulf Coast. I am a vacation rental manager. I'm the operations manager. I manage about 100 vacation rentals. I have been severely impacted, as most of our state has been. All of this hit in March, which is our huge month. That's not necessarily when our snowbirds are here. That's when our spring breakers are here. Those are the people spending the money. Those are the people on vacation. They've budgeted to eat out, drink out, shop, We're just having a big issue right now too with unemployment. No one's gotten any. Welcome to Florida. It's horrible. I'll go through the stats in a second, but just to touch base on that, we are a hospitality-driven state.
Yeah.
Disney, and just all down the coast. You come on vacation here. And our unemployment system is very broken. Very, very few people have received any compensation. And people are starting to go crazy here, including me. Very much so. But what I'm most concerned about is my staff. As an operations manager, I manage all of the cleaning, maintenance, reservation staff, and they're all suffering. We were just told today that short-term vacation rentals, which is what we do, is out until June 1st. No new reservations are allowed to be made and no new people in.
Okay.
So basically I lost my staff today,
Yeah.
which sucks.
Yeah.
Where I live is Manatee County, kind of South Florida, if you will. I'm between Sarasota and Tampa. I'm just south of Tampa. We have, 1,268 deaths so far in Florida, and we have 33,690 infected. In the county I live in alone, which, if you want to bring up a map, I didn't prepare a slideshow today. But in the county that I'm in alone, we have a small barrier island, which is very touristy. It's Anna Maria Island, Florida. Gorgeous white beaches, blue water. It's amazing. But we have 42 deaths in our county and 533 infected. But we have also been out of test kits now for 2 weeks. So who knows?
Yeah.
Everyone is suffering. Restaurant industry, everything is shut down. This is our bread and butter. This is what we do. People are desperate because no one's gotten any payments from unemployment. And, this time of year, it's where people in the industry hoard money. We make it really fast and we budget it out for the rest of the year because we know better. We know season. But people haven't gotten that influx. So it's not just these last few months that are going to affect people. It's really going to be the rest of the year. So it's been rough around here, really rough. Crime is up. People are miserable. So our beaches are closed. However, starting on Monday, on Monday our beach is open, but only for 2 hours at a time. You're only allowed to park for 2 hours. You aren't allowed to bring a towel, a chair, anything. You can go and walk around if you would like. But that's it. Basically deterring tourists, whatnot. But we have a lot of locals who are out of work who want to go to the beach. But, anyway, it's kind of a mess. It's not kind of, it is a mess. I worry for friends of mine, what they're going through. Our biggest issue is just staffing. When we do open up again, who knows where all those people are going to be. So it's rough, really rough.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on to Jawa. We're going to come back around and kind of delve deeper into some of these issues, but let's continue the introductions with Jawa. What do you got? Where are you from?
What's up, everybody? Oh my God, Megan, you almost made me cry. God.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. Oh, come on.
Lord.
Right?
Lord Jesus.
Send prayers, bless the South.
Oh my God. I live in Memphis, Tennessee. Right now, they say in Memphis, we got about 2,327 about 500 recovered, only 44 deaths. That's it.
Wow.
Dang.
I don't know what's going on because these jokers ain't taking it seriously. Because they not. Tennessee, they said we got 23,000, 5,000 recovered, only 200 died. These are pretty good numbers. I think in Tennessee, especially in Memphis, people don't live on top of each other. So I think that's what it is. But I deliver pizza, and I used to do Uber, but I stopped. But that has slowed down. People just don't have money. You know what I'm saying? It's real tight. It's real tight. Crime has went up in Memphis. It's real tight. I mean, I live close to downtown Memphis. That's a thriving business. Right now, we used to get ready for Memphis in May. If anybody ever heard this, this is a popular. We have music acts, barbecue fest. That's all gone. All the hotels are shut down. It's tough. But our numbers ain't that bad. We're on phase 1 starting Monday. That means they're allowing people to go into restaurants.
Wait, tell us a little bit more about that, because all of us are still in lockdown, right?
Yeah.
Nod your head.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got 4 phases.
Yeah.
So Monday starts phase 1, where you're allowed to go to sit down in a restaurant. Only about 20% people allowed to come in, but like 20% staff. It's crazy. I don't think we're ready, but they say our numbers are looking good. Now there's an area called Tipton County next to Memphis, next to Shelby County. They already allowing it. They're open, like barbershops, restaurants, and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy, but you know.
That's the South. You guys are crazy.
Yeah. But it's the only thing that scares me is I'm African American, and a lot of my African American, we're not taking it seriously. We got so many tests available. We got more tests available than people taking it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Must be
You're
nice.
the only one. Okay, so we'll all round up and get a car together, and we'll all just go down to Memphis and get our tests taken, right? Or mail them to us.
Hey, can I say hi to you, Shauna, right?
Yes.
I'm from East Flatbush.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from New York. I just spoke to my mother. Yeah,
Okay.
she's going through it every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Forest Hills, Queens right now, which is like
Okay, you're pretty far from East Flatbush.
yeah, but I know.
To the bus.
All right, we're gonna move on to Ashley.
Hi. So I am in Ohio, which we have been talked about a lot because our governor has kind of started us early. Right now, as of today, we were at just over 18,000 cases, and we were at 975 deaths. So, I mean, it's still there. However, we start opening things back up tomorrow. We have been on a stay-at-home order since March 22nd, but he actually started closing things March 12th, and it was like every day he would kind of close something else. Yeah, starting tomorrow, it's not big. It's a very soft open. They're going to start doing like elective surgeries and stuff like that again. And then, I mean, we're still a long way off from like restaurants and things like that. But yeah, it's been interesting. I had a 9-to-5 job. My job was sold 2 weeks before all of this happened. And so, but other than that, I am a content creator. One of my big projects on a documentary, and that's been kind of hard to do because I can't really get out and film and talk to people and, do the things that I need to do in order to continue, going down that route. But it's actually been pretty uneventful. Like my mother is a healthcare worker, so she's in the field every day. They've cut their hours. I mean, they're hardly ever at work anymore. They want people to take all this time off because they're not getting the big overwhelming numbers that we were told we were going to get, which is good. But it's weird. It's weird because, people aren't really getting it. People aren't really understanding that the reason why we're not drowning in numbers is because we've taken these precautionary steps to do the things that we need to do. So yeah, I mean, it's been a good social experiment, that's for sure. So
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. I guess, Pat, do you have the statistics on Illinois and Chicago? We should probably, or do you want me to read it?
No.
I've got it in front of me.
It's like, that's Jeanine work. I thought you would have done that.
That's right. I'm his secretary too, part-time. So I just want to share, since everyone knows Chicago's are pretty large too, but so Cook County is basically Chicago land, and some of you have lived here, so you know that. But so far, we've got 31,953 cases and 1,347 deaths. In Illinois, though, we've got 50,000 cases and 2,125 deaths. So most of the numbers of cases and deaths are coming from Chicago. Again, somebody touched on it. It could have something to do with, the dense population. I think that's pretty much well known. But Shauna, tell me again your numbers, because I want to compare. Chicago was highest out of everyone, I think. And then
so our number of cases in the 5 boroughs is 167,000.
That's crazy. So that's like triple the amount of Chicago.
Yeah, and then the amount recovered is about 40,000, and the amount dead is about 13,000.
Did you happen to look at, though, like the percentage of cases put up against the population?
No.
Yeah, per capita.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be curious. Yeah, because I was going to ask
Because you have 3 times as many cases as us, but what's the population of the 5 boroughs compared to
3
Chicago?
times.
Shauna, Google that. Look at her.
It's literally like 10 million.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lee. Lee, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Lee?
Hey, how are you guys? My name is Lee Jacobson. I am self-employed, so I've been very fortunate to be able to work from home always. But this is, but obviously, like, this has not been very fortunate for anybody because this is, people aren't supposed to live on top of each other. I, however, will tell you, I am the part owner of a COVID-19 disinfectant company.
What?
So do you want to give the website for that real quick?
Yeah, alwaysgreenenvironmentalservices.com.
Alwaysgreenenvironmentalservices.com.
Oh, we've got a paper ad.
Look at Lee.
Everybody's typing it on their phone right now.
That's my son's godfather.
So,
I'm proud of you.
We should probably explain for it. So Lee is a lawyer. He's been on our show a couple, 1 or 2 times. We've worked together because I do real estate on the side. So we've had, clients in common. But are you seeing any lawyer activities going on during all this?
right. Well, there is. I do a ton of divorce, and there's obviously tension everywhere because people aren't supposed to live on top of each other. And I like to remind my clients that me and my wife are happily married, and we're at each other's throats. So behave with your wife, with your ex-wife you don't like. But yeah, I mean, there's not a ton. There's not really anything happening. The courts are closed down. That's pretty standard across the board. It's a lot of fiddling. There's a lot of fiddling and a lot of trying to figure things out. But I started it. To be totally frank, I started it with a client of mine about 9 months ago. I started an industrial waste management company.
And what's it called again?
It's called Always Green Environmental Services. And about a month ago, we started getting subcontracted offers to do COVID disinfectants. I am the business administrative partner / legal portion of the team. My partner has been involved in industrial waste management and hazardous waste disposal for 15 years. So he's out in the field with the crews. And I'd be remiss to tell you that it's not. I mean, we have more work than we know what to do with, and we're scaling up to try to meet it because it's that wild of a kind of space right now. Because it's an extremely high demand, obviously, as everybody knows. We kind of fell into it because my client had the experience dealing with this stuff. He just had to adjust to the specific parameters of what's going on right now. But interesting enough, part of the new norm, stuff like that, these services are going to be super common. And I'd imagine as we open up, borders are closed apparently, right? But as we open up restaurants and the economy more and more, we're going to see more and more of a necessity for these items as it kind of we work our way through, like trying to get the engine running. The really, really wild part is, I mean, who knows when that's how quickly that engine's going to be moving. I've literally been talking to clients who either own or are part of restaurants. I was a part of restaurants forever, and I mean, even if you were or work at restaurants, and where does this, when they stop social distancing, where does that begin? Where do people build their faith in returning back to those spaces? And what do those spaces look like now? Because now, the entire business schematic, paying for real estate is now adjusted because there's less real estate, because now you've got less, you can't pack as many people into a space, nor would people want to be packed into a space. So what does that look like in the new entertainment, restaurant, bar scene of post COVID? And it's kind of a really wild space. And I'm gonna I'm gonna jump back out and let everybody else talk, but that's kind of what I've been doing. My family is socially isolating. We don't go out much. I don't see many people. I've been in court once because of an emergency. However, my company is kind of I have my partners right now with three men cleaning, disinfecting a nursing home in the western suburbs of Illinois, or of Chicago, right as we speak. And it's real, and it's everywhere. It's wild.
So interestingly enough, there's a local bar that opened not too long ago near my house, and I've actually driven around the neighborhood and seen there's a couple Starbucks in the area too. And I noticed some of these restaurants are taking the time to renovate. The bar near my house is expanding. And I'm like, how smart is that? Although because this bar, it was always busy. And even with, we're allowed to do takeout here, the carry out and takeout and delivery is still able to be done. They're getting a lot of business still. But one of my friends was really excited and was like, oh, as soon as this is over, we can go back to the bar and it's bigger now. Have you seen it? Like the actual bar area? And I said, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be sitting at a bar anytime soon. So my next question.
Oh, I will be.
See, that's my next question. So Pat, tell me, out of all of us, I'm a total shut-in. I won't even leave the house for gas. And I was telling Pat in the last segment that my lawn is like going to be knee deep before this is all over and done with. So can we just go around, Pat, if you want to start, and then you can call the next person you see. How extremely scared are you, or are you the opposite? Like, what end of the spectrum are you on, basically?
I mean, yeah, we kind of went over this in the last segment, but I'm definitely, because I am considered an essential worker, we're part of the Suicide Squad. You just go out and you do it. And it's just, I'm a cowboy, man. No, it's that's the way you have to look at it, because you have everyone else hiding underneath their freaking mattress, like like Jeanine, and no fault against you, but like that's what a lot of people are doing, sheltering in place and all this stuff, and I get it, but when you don't have that option, you have to convince yourself that like it's not that bad, and that's just what I've been doing, and just going out. And I once again said in the previous segment, I wish there was some way to kind of run the numbers and see what percentage of people are actually still working. You know what I mean? Like, because the term essential worker is kind of like a broad term, and it's people at McDonald's, it's people at the gun range, it's people at Jewel, it's people that do what I do, it's whatever. And I mean, I know the traffic's lighter. Like, I know the majority of people are probably staying at home, but really, what percentage is that? Is that 40%? Is it 60%? How many people are really staying at home right now?
Pat, they said there's 14% unemployment in Memphis. So
okay.
That's what I heard.
So that means 14% of the people are probably staying at home that were already working. Yeah. I mean, so you're saying 86%? Are still.
We got a lot. Okay, Memphis is the hub for FedEx, so we are a real warehouse city. So there's a lot of people still going to work here.
Right. Yeah. So really, how much are you? I not to get super political or to debate policy or anything, but when you have 86% of people are still out there doing business as usual, what are you really preventing? I don't you might
Nothing.
be, yeah. And we built all these huge triage centers here in Cook County that like aren't seeing use. And now they're starting to tear them down, which to me is like absolutely insane, because why are you still going to make people stay at home, but you're going to start closing the triage centers? But what happens when they go back out and there's a spike and then these places are dismantled already? It just is like, shouldn't we at least leave them open until everyone goes back, and then we'll make sure we don't need them? And then what about the healthcare workers that are in short demand, that are just sitting on their fucking hands somewhere waiting for like people to come in that never come in, when they could be, I don't know, like at a nursing home somewhere trying to, I don't know. It's very confusing, and that's what worries me the most. I don't think I worry about going to work every day and stopping at Burger King or El Famous Burrito for lunch. I worry about the fact that this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. You know?
And just to be
Can I
clear,
say one more thing?
Oh yeah, totally, dude.
So they're building a COVID hospital by my job right now. It used to be the Commercial Appeal. That used to be the newspaper. They're building. I mean, they're building this like it's like we live in China. That's how fast they're building it. But I'm like you, like, what they gonna do with this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you building this and now you giving us phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4? What's the use for this hospital? But I asked somebody because I was being nosy. They said, "Oh, this is gonna be for recovery." So they really trying to stop people from going home. The problem is people are getting tested positive and still doing what they're doing. That's the problem. That's I got 2 nurses on my Facebook page. They are telling people to be careful because a lot of people ain't staying home. They're positive. They still going to Target. I know, Jeanine, I'm scaring you.
no, I have a friend.
That's what they're doing. So we gotta protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? For those people. Y'all can go ahead.
I have a friend who is a first responder who had another person that they worked with that tested positive. So this first responder went to get his test, and he called me to say, "Hey, I just got my test." And while he was calling me, he was out at, I'll just say, a store.
Oh.
And he had not gotten his test results.
What are you worried about? You don't want to say the name of the store?
I just don't want too much information, but
I mean, we know it wasn't always Green Environmental Services, because they would never.
We don't know. Well, first of all, we don't own a store, but like
we don't have a storefront.
Just let us know. Yeah, let us know who it is, and I'll contact them and be like, "Listen, you."
Because if it was Saturday and Sunday, it's by appointment.
We're trained to handle it.
Yeah.
to Java's point, to my point, yeah, he ended up being negative, which was awesome. But you have that mentality of let's keep going out and shopping. So again, to my point, for instance, Ashley, tell me, are you afraid to go out? Have you been out? What's your life like? Who are you quarantining with?
Yeah. So in my household, it's just me and my daughter. I am immunocompromised in 2 different ways. I'm a diabetic, and I also have cancer. And so basically, I actually had a doctor's appointment, again, kind of right before this all happened. And, the doctor kind of joked and was like, don't get it because you'll die. And I'm like, oh, great. But honestly, some of my job hire me to go out and do things. I do modeling also. So I had a modeling shoot during all of this. And we still went out, we still did the shoot, but we were outside and we were able to maintain distance. So, it was okay. But me being a single parent, I'm the only person that provides for my child. I mean, I still have to do the regular stuff. I still have to go out to the grocery store. I've still got to, go do regular people things. And so, at first it was pretty intimidating. It was, but the more, of course, we've all just had time to kind of sit and think about it, I guess. The more that I've thought about it, and, going back and, I just kind of have I'm a big science geek anyway. So I kind of, I feel like it doesn't matter. I feel like we're not going to stop this. It's already here. It has already spread to the majority. It's really unfortunate because if we just let people do what they're going to do and people are going to do stupid things, a lot of people probably are going to die because of it. But, you know, I mean, at this point, I feel like the best case scenario would be to kind of just let this virus kind of go free and do what it naturally does. That's the only way we're going to be able to build any type of immunity to it. So I don't know. Like I said, me personally, I mean, you know, I think about it, but then, like I said, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I can't stop it. You know, again, my mom, my daughter, she's 8, and she stays between my home and my mother's home just to have her keep her own sanity, because it's just me and her in the house, and it kind of helps break it up. But she's going to my mom's house, who works in a hospital, who is around, you know, COVID-19 patients, who probably has had it, you know, or will get it. So, I mean, you know, it is a risk, but, you know, at some point, another thing that a lot of people aren't really considering is that we have to not just consider our physical health, but our mental health too. You know, look at how this is affecting people that already have depression and things like that. Like, I know for me personally, I'm an extremely social person. This is very hard for me to sit here day in and day out. I'm never home. I'm never here. And so the fact that I have to like be here, it's really, you know, for me, I'm going crazy. You know, it's a weird, you know, I should be scared, I guess, but I'm not really. And just, like I said, it's going to do what it does. And, you know, we can't stop it from happening. And the fact of the matter is, if we develop a vaccine anyway, it's a virus. It's going to mutate. What's going to happen when we have, you know, COVID-20? What are we going to do then? You know, we really need to focus more on, you know, unfortunately, we can't fix this one. This one's already happened. We need to really stop focusing on how to fix this, because we can't. And we need to focus on what we can do in the future if this were to happen again. And, you know, that's just my take on it. So.
No, thank you for sharing. Let me bounce over to Crystal. How paranoid are you, Crystal? You're like me?
Talk about your wedding too, because that's like.
Okay. Well, I'm very paranoid. Like, I am like, I don't want to say I'm one of those like conspiracy theorist person, but I'm super mega paranoid. But I am not a new mom, but like this is my first time having a kid. My kid's 2 years old. So I'm like scared. Like I told my fiance, it's like, I'm not really so worried about me. I'm worried about him. Like I see like these videos of these like young kids in the hospital, or like all these kids die. And I'm like, you know, my duty as a parent is to protect my child and do the best I can to protect him. And another thing that worries me is that like with doctors' offices closed and everything, he was pushed back on his immunization since he was 4 months old, and we were waiting till he was 3 because he had really bad, like he was hospitalized for a little bit because of whatever happened when he got his 4-month shot. So we delayed it, and now I'm like, I'm terrified. My son has not been outside my house since March 8th. I'm like, because not only is he behind on his regular shots, but it's like, I'm not only scared about the coronavirus. Now they're saying like measles might make a comeback, because not only my child is not the only one that's missing his shots right now, but all these other kids that are normally getting vaccinated or whatever. So he's been at home. So I'm very paranoid. I don't go to the grocery store at all. I get like all my groceries delivered. Everything I need, I order online, but I did go to Target for the first time Friday because I had to get some stuff there. Well, like some medicine stuff that I usually keep for him, and I couldn't pick it up. I had to go inside in person. So I went by myself, and it was like my first time being out of my house since March 8th, like inside of an actual store.
Jeez.
So,
how was it?
I was scared.
Mask, gloves.
Mask, gloves, and like as soon as I got out of the store, I like threw away my mask and my gloves in the trash can. I like used Listerine mouthwash. I used nasal spray and like my Germix and everything. I didn't bring anything with me except for my phone. I used Apple Pay. So I'm like, if I bring everything with me, I'm gonna be touching my purse. I'm gonna be going through my cards, grabbing. I'm like, just bringing my phone using Apple Pay. I got Lysol spray. I like sprayed my clothes, whatever. I got home, like stripped down as soon as I walked in. I got in the shower and everything. And not gonna lie, the next day my throat was hurting a little bit, and I was like ready to cry. I'm like, I went out and I got the coronavirus.
Yeah.
But No, it was, my fans were dirty. I had to clean my fans. Like, they were dusty. So I feel better now. I was just like so scared because like it's like, and like Ashley had said earlier, you stay home for so long, it takes a toll on your mental health because like everything freaks you out. Especially like her, she's a mom too. She's home with just her daughter, and it's mainly me and my son. My fiance is working nights, so when he is here in the daytime, he's sleeping, and then when he wakes up, he leaves. So it's like I'm losing my shit being home by myself with a 2-year-old. Like, there's only so many activities you can do with them before it's like both of you guys are losing your damn mind. Like,
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to get married on April 11th. So I had my bachelorette trip in New Orleans on Bourbon Street the weekend before all of this went down. Like, it was, I think, the March 6th weekend. We were out, we were not being like sanitary, like at all. You know, you're on Bourbon, you're going from one place to another, taking shots, touching everything. And then next thing you know, everybody's saying like, oh, New Orleans downtown is like a hub. Like, all these people were infected. Like, if you were in New Orleans during, you know, whatever time frame, you should really get tested. And I'm like, oh shit, like what if we, but thankfully none of us got sick. So right after that, coming home from New Orleans was like the last time we went out or whatever. And so 2 weeks after that, my wedding got canceled on, when was our stay-at-home order? March 22nd. My venue called me and said I cannot have my wedding there because it was 10 people or less, I think, or 5 people or less. At first, it was like no more than 200 people, and then it went down to like no more than 100 people. No more than 50, and then it was like 10 or 5 people or something. So we were like, okay, let's reschedule June 6th. You know, maybe in like a month it'll be gone. No big deal. Well, last week, my venue called me and told me they're gonna not have any weddings until like September. And I'm like, well, I don't want to get married.
God, I don't want to hear that.
So I got my wedding postponed not once, but twice.
Have you thought about just getting like married by a Universal Church of Life person at this point? Like, just for logistic reasons? You know what I mean? Lee, can you do that?
Is there a certain host
right now?
Okay, so this is the crazy part, guys.
Lee, can you do that?
Well, no, listen. I'm from Illinois originally, right? So I was like, let's just get married in our backyard. Like, F it. Like, we'll tell the guy to come back here and marry us.
Why? Is that an Illinois thing to do?
Right.
Huh?
Is you trying to say that's like an Illinois thing to do, is have a backyard wedding?
Sorry.
Well, because here I have land. Like, I feel like that's not normal in Illinois. Like, everybody lives in the city or like a suburb area. Like, I live like in the country. Like,
where were you from in Illinois?
But I'm from Illinois, from a small town called Gilbert's. It's next to Elgin. It's like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. So I told him, I'm like, let's just get married in the backyard and we can have a reception later. No big deal. Well, I'm looking through my stuff. I just moved here like a year ago, like officially, and I could not find my birth certificate. And I'm like, well, maybe with my passport and my ID. So we asked, and they're like, no, you have to have your birth certificate. So my mom was like looking for it. She couldn't find it. Well, I went online to try to get a birth certificate, but I think it said like it's delayed for, I don't know. I think the courthouses are closed over there too, or like the birth certificate place. So I can't get married right now, like even if I wanted to, like on the internet or with like a priest, because I don't have.
It's a sign.
That's what everybody keeps telling me. It's a
well,
sign.
Is that what all your married? Is that what all your married friends keep telling you?
No.
Really?
Is that what all your married friends keep telling you? Yeah. Okay.
I agree. That's a sign.
Yeah, my best friend was like, maybe it's a sign, man. I'm like, no. I'm like, third time's a charm. We're gonna set the date for sometime next year. I'm like, we're just saying we're getting married in 2021. I'm not gonna say a date until, not when all this settles, but when there's some sort of normalcy back, I guess, because I mean, who knows what normal
Right.
is anymore.
Megan, what do you got going on? Do you go outside?
Do I go out? Do you go outside?
I don't.
Good girl. You good girl? I do. Somewhat. I mean, I've been to Walmart a few times. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I get groceries from the Walmart pickup, but there's just been times where I'm like, I'm sorry, I need a flameless candle. I have to go. I have like let go of things at first, being in hospitality. I was like super grossed out. I would, when this whole thing first started, I would go into, the difference is I'm not in a hotel environment. I manage individual vacation rentals, individual homes. So it's completely different than a hotel environment where you can infect 50 at a time. These are individual units. But I still was totally just grossed out, and it's almost like there's bed bugs in there where I was like, I don't know, just clean it. I'm getting out. But I've definitely let go of that a little bit just for almost mental health. When I go to Walmart now, like I'll brush my hair, which is super cool.
Well, you should brush your hair before you go to Walmart anyway.
I mean, you would think, but no, it's been different. I mean, I really haven't ventured out. I have some friends who are like, our beaches are closed right now, which stinks because it is like March and April are stunning here, just stunning, and we have nowhere to go. All of our parking lots are blocked off. I mean, they do have police patrolling. You aren't allowed to go. We're supposed to be reopening on Monday. Like I said, it's a 2-hour limit. Like, you're allowed to take a walk. You aren't allowed to bring any beach towels, no chairs. Basically, it's come and look and see and feel better and then leave. But I have had to get out of the house. We have some, our local parks and recreation. I mean, I'm surrounded by beauty, 7-mile long island, but it has been rough because then you see the idiots walking around who, I mean, the other day I was in Walmart at the checkout and some idiot, like I'm standing there and he puts his hand on the small of my back and like leans in for a Snickers bar. And I was like, I'm going to smack you. What are you doing? Flattered. Thank you very much. But get off. Like, what are you thinking? No mask, no anything. Like, I wear like a ridiculous, like, has balloons on it, like this horrible fabric mask, like Joanne Fabric's clearance rack, like horrible, but I still wear it, like still make an effort. Walmart, I'm a little bit of a control freak, so like the whole like green arrow this way, quit walking the wrong way down my aisle. That's what's happening right now. But I have been getting out. I have to. And I think around here, a lot of us do need a little bit of need to talk to other people. I think this is a great idea. I think people are starting a little crazy and they're desperate, and sometimes you just need to get out and wear some lip gloss, like honestly, even if covered by a mask.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
I've been trying a little bit.
Shauna, what are you doing over there in New York? Did you go out? Because that's a lot of freaking death and virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I go out, I go to the store. I'm kind of with Ashley. I'm not like freaking out. I cover my face and I wear my gloves and I wash my groceries. I spray them all down when I put them in. But I don't like walk into a store and I'm not like this looking around. I'm like, I do what I need to do and I stay away from everybody, and it's fine. I'd still order takeout. And
you still see like the Beastie Boys out walking around and Lena Dunham?
Oh my God.
Like,
Lena Dunham is stuck in Europe. I follow her. She's somewhere in Europe, like Paris.
is she really? Oh, she was writing that book.
Yeah.
Well, the Beastie Boys. I mean, the two guys. Mike D. Is Mike D like your next door neighbor?
Who are you quarantined with? Are you by yourself?
No, I'm with my boyfriend and 3 cats.
Ooh.
3 cats?
MCA, right? Is MCA your boyfriend?
He works for iHeartRadio, and when things were shut down, he still had to go to work because radio is considered an essential business, So, he's working. It's like a week and a half, and everything's been closed. And he gets this call from his boss, and his boss is like, "Get out of the studio right now." And Brandon's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Someone tested positive for COVID, was in the studio." He freaked out. And so it was a little touch and go for a week or so in our quarantine because I was like, stay away from me.
Yeah, did you have any reservation? Because both me and my wife were both quarantined, where we had people at our workplace test positive, and and we both kind of like the first time when it happened to her first, and I was like, thank fucking God. And you got to go sleep upstairs, And then when it happened to me again, like she was much cooler about it than I was, because at that point we had already gone through it. But
yeah,
what happens when your significant other finds out that they've been exposed?
I don't know for sure if I have the antibody, but I think I had it.
When? Because we went through this in the previous segment.
I got so sick in January and was running like 104 fever for like days and was out of work. I'm tough. Like I work hourly. I don't get a salary. Like I go to work, and if I'm like a little under the weather, I stay in my corner and I don't touch anybody. But like I was out for a week. I could not work. And at the end of it, I had like trouble breathing and I had like all of this, like, I lost my voice for like days.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I think I fucking had it. Sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Good New Yorker.
You get tested for the antibodies? Can you? You can?
Here, but in Illinois, they're doing more of the like up the nose, like do you have it now tests. But there's a couple places that do antibody testing. Just by a raise of hands, and we won't do everybody's story because it would take forever. But like, who thinks that they could have had it at the end of January, the beginning of February?
Totally.
I think I had it in November.
Really?
Yeah, in December.
I was done. Who had the cough?
Yep.
No,
I had the crazy I had the fever dreams. I was going.
No,
like,
I didn't have a cough.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Now,
I'm pretty sure I had it in November. I'm like almost 100%
November.
sure.
Yeah.
it was December going in like late November to December.
Yeah, like Thanksgiving week, going into Thanksgiving, I think it was.
Yeah. It came out of nowhere. It started with my throat. It started with my throat. And then I do, the stuff. I started taking pills and I thought I could get rid of it. It lasted for like 2 weeks. It lasted for like 2 or 3 weeks. But the cough and my chest pains was, it was so bad. I never felt like that in my whole life. Never.
How many people know somebody who had it? And I'm not saying a friend of a friend of a friend. I'm saying how many is one removed from you, one away from you has had it. Confirmed case.
Me. Totally.
Okay, so Pat, you know somebody who has it?
My mom's cousin died of it, but he was old and he was in a wheelchair and he was not in the like good health, and they're pretty sure that he got it from his nurse that would come to his house and stuff, because she was sick. She had like a really high fever and was all messed up, and he just stayed at home, But he was definitely compromised.
Shauna, who do you know?
2 students that I've taught for years, their dads. So 2 separate cases. One dad passed. He was only in his 50s, and the other dad is fine, recovering. So, and I knew both of them. So it's not family, but they're like family.
Right. And then Megan, you said you knew somebody.
Yeah, my brother-in-law's nephew right now is undergoing the plasma replacement therapy. He's doing a little bit better, but he's in his like early 20s. I mean, he's a big guy, has like pre-diabetes, but I mean, works in the Ford factory up in Michigan, not doing well, kind of touch and go. And then another good friend of mine, his twin brother in New York is kind of, I hate to say it, but circling the drain right now, so scary. But, touching on that point of, someone's nurse giving it to them. I mean, our healthcare facilities down here, meaning our old people homes, it is Florida. It's like Shady Pines, like Golden Girls, But it's running rampant in there, and our governor still will not release those numbers. So our governor's a jackass, though. It's Florida. What are you gonna do? Like, I should just put up a meme of myself instead of my face. But it's really bad in our nursing homes right now, and a lot of our healthcare workers in those nursing homes are infected and infecting their families, and it's a mess. So it is what it is for right now. But yeah, it's been a personal experience too.
So just to kind of go around, do any of you have questions for anybody else in any of the states that are represented here, since we have everyone together? Any questions? Because we'll probably wrap it up pretty soon.
Can I ask a question to Crystal? My children's older, but I haven't seen I saw my daughter once. I'm real close. My daughter's 17. I haven't seen my son. My son works at Costco. I call him every day. I check on him. As a parent to a child that's younger, do you feel like this has been too much for you? How's, like, you say you've been worried, but how do you, being a parent and having a child this young, has it really affected your, like, mental health?
Honestly, and this is being pure honest, I've had like more mental breakdowns that I can count. Like literally where I just start crying. Like I think at the very beginning, everybody's like, you must be bummed out because I would cry. Like my mom would call me, I would be crying. Like my sisters would call me, I would be crying. And they're like, it's okay. I'm like, I'm not even crying about my wedding. Like you guys don't understand. Like I'm genuinely scared. Like, and people think it's like, it's okay. And my fiance, he's like from the South. He's like country, whatever. He's like, it's all right. It's going to come and go. It's not a big deal. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I am terrified of what is going on outside of our home. Like, I didn't really go out before this whole pandemic thing. Like, I've always been like a homebody. And like I said, I'm a seasonal worker. So usually when I do work, my son stays with my sister or whatever. But, I'm just so overprotective. And it has taken a toll on my mental health. It's been bad, but thank God I have like my family and friends. Like I talk to every day. I talk to like my mom every day, my sisters every day. I have a lot of family in Illinois. A lot of cousins and relatives that have young kids, and they are going through the same thing. They're like, I'm scared for my kid. Like, and it's like how you said, like you're a parent, your kids are a little bit older, but you still always have that worry behind the back of your head. No matter if your kids, 2, 5, 10, 17, 20, you're always gonna worry for your kids. Like it's, I don't know. But it is like mentally and emotionally draining, like this whole thing.
And Crystal, I still cry, and I'm by myself, and I cry, and the same thing. I talk to my family, and I've got a very small family. I've got no cousins or anything, so it's just my parents, and then I've got 2 uncles and a brother in the military, and he's in North Carolina, and they don't provide masks to the military base, so my brother, I had to have somebody make a mask for him because he was wearing a fucking pillowcase, and that's what they're giving our government workers that are in the military. So, and I know there's not enough PPE for the healthcare providers. There's not enough for any, military people as well. So, I cry all the time. I've gotten better because thank God for things like outlets like this or like friends. I have, an old man, I hate to say old man, but he's in his late 70s, early 80s, that I used to do real estate, and I used to work at his building. And he calls me every day at 2:00, and he checks on me, but really, it's me checking on him too, because he and I are both by ourselves through all of this. And it's tough. I've gotten better. I don't cry as much, but it'll be funny. It'll be like a touching commercial or something, and I'll cry, or like some stupid love story on Netflix,
Yes.
I'm not crying about the love or whatever on Netflix movie. It's just I'm upset just about the situation. I am very afraid. Ashley, you have a child too. How do you explain to an 8-year-old what's going on?
It's hard because she's at that age where she's like, she's very aware of what's happening. And so she, we watch the daily briefing together, and, I kind of try to, just, I guess explain like any other sickness. Now with her, she's kind of a special case, a little bit. She has ADHD. So like now we are doing, homeschooling at home, and, I'm not a teacher. And it's been really difficult, because on top of, being frustrated for being stuck in the house, not being able to see your friends, not being able to interact with anybody else but me, now we've got school on top of it, whereas like her regular school day was this 7-hour period. I'm waking her up in the morning and we are doing school all day long, because she's got such a hard time sitting down and just focusing on her work and doing what she needs to do, because she just doesn't work well in that type of environment. Her brain doesn't work the same as everybody else's. So she's not like a book learner. She's a hands-on learner, and there is no hands-on. But as far as like the virus goes, I mean, at first she was scared. It was really intimidating to her, because all she heard was, how many people was going to die, and death and horribleness. She's let up a little bit now. I think she's gone from being scared to being angry because her life's been disrupted. And we'll do things. We have like multiple little ways that we make wishes on things, and which is kind of adorable. But every single wish that she has is that this will go away by summer so she can go to the swimming pool. And I'm trying to explain to her, how there might not be a swimming pool this, hoping, we might have a birthday party, at the end of the year, but who knows? Everything's so up in the air. And so it's
Is it getting choppy?
it has been hard. What'd you say?
You were getting choppy there for a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. My internet really sucks sometimes. I apologize.
It's okay.
That's all good.
Okay.
But no, I was saying she just wishes that we could just fix the problem, and she doesn't understand that you can't. And so it's rough for her. It's frustrating.
I understand that. I have a birthday next week coming up, and I think I'm going to do a Zoom birthday party. So
Yes.
I'm gonna check it out. Pat, we're kind of going to wrap up. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to go around the room one more time. Last thing, I just want to know, how about this? What is one thing that, like the pool, you can't wait to do after COVID? And maybe also tell us, what's something that you don't think you're ever going to be able to do again? Like what's never going to, what's pre-COVID and post-COVID? Let's start with you, Lee, because I know we didn't get to touch on you too much. So.
Oh, it's all right. I am looking forward to being in a crowded airplane. Very excited about that.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I like to travel, so like I'm gonna get back on a plane,
Yeah.
at some point. It just is what it is. But that'll be interesting. COVID and extreme 9/11 security measures. Let's just keep adding to it.
Right.
Searching us and giving us our temperature. Nice.
Yes, absolutely. So the thing I'm not looking forward to doing is going to the DMV, because my shit's expired and everybody else's, and we're all going to be there together. That's going to be terrible.
Java, what's one thing you're gonna miss? Something that you don't think is ever gonna be the same again, and then what's maybe something you're looking
the main thing I miss is like two things. I really miss my children, man. This is weird, but this is the most time I never spent with them. And the second thing, I miss doing stand-up, man. I really do miss making these jokes. I'm tired of telling these jokes to regular people and bombing. I've been bombing. Oh, it's been hard. Like, that's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm gonna say this, but I hate the idea. My biggest fear right now is like I love going to concerts and theaters. I just don't want to have that fear on me if somebody cough. You know what I'm saying? And regret what I'm doing. So I hope everything be all right. But yeah, I want to do some stand up, man.
Go ahead. Since you're here now, just tell us, like, do you have any social media?
Tell us a joke.
Yeah, tell us a
Right?
No, you can't do that. That's like.
Hey, follow me on Instagram, because my daughter is like Horn, Horn, Jawa, JLWA. Hey man, I'm funny. I try to make you laugh. No, I don't. No dick pics here. Okay, no.
Good God.
No OnlyFans.
No dick pics. You ain't gonna get mine. Still a culprit. Okay.
So, one quick question for you.
What's up?
one quick question. So here they do open mic in Chicago at this bar called Cole's, and every Wednesday night they do an open mic Zoom. You guys don't do that?
Yeah, we do, but we have bad communication. It's Memphis.
I was gonna say it's Memphis.
It's bad, man. You're
All right. So your social media one more time was
on Instagram, Horn, Horn, Jawa, Jowa. I must admit, my mustache look amazing on Zoom. Okay.
Thank you very much for being part of it.
Pat, you all right over there, Pat?
I was just adding you.
Okay.
Wait,
I didn't know what you
No, I was seriously, because I won't tell you what I kept typing. I thought it was Yawa with a Y, so it was horn,
man,
and then Y, OWA, so it was horny, OWA, and I was getting all kinds of other shit. So.
Pat, you watch Star Wars, I can tell. I can look in your face. You like
You
Star
can look
Wars?
at the Legos in the background, and it's a dead giveaway.
Oh my God, I can tell. Love you already. Let's go.
Ashley's next. Ashley, what are you gonna miss? What do you think's never gonna be the same again?
Personally,
Uh-oh, you're cracking up.
I can't wait to just hug people again. Oh, hold on. Is that better? Am I back?
Yeah.
Are we good? Okay. I want to be able to like hug my people again. I've like dropped things off at like people's like back doors and stuff like that, and I see them through like the windows and I wave, but I can't touch them, and that's difficult. So I'm excited for that. As far as like something that I don't think is ever going to be the same again, I don't know, guys. I think that for a long time we're going to feel the effects of this, but I think that eventually, when we're talking 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we're going to forget about it. I mean, as much as that sucks, I mean, we'll take away some things from it, but I definitely don't think that it's going to be something that's going to last forever in our minds. But I don't personally have any, I mean, I'm already a little paranoid. I already wash my hands too much, and, you know, I try to not cough on people. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have anything that I'm too worried about, so.
Yeah, I feel you on a lot of that stuff. I do want to hug people too. Shauna, what do you got? What are you going to miss?
I miss, well, I think in a few months I'm going to miss going to concerts, because I have like 8 concerts planned this summer, and I like highly doubt that any of them are going to happen. And I miss, you know, I miss like being in a sweaty dance studio and like rolling on the dirty floor. I know it sounds gross if you're not a dancer, but it's,
No, I get it.
wow. It's not the same. And once we're back from this, I'm never going to take my life for granted. I'm never going to say I'm tired. I don't want to do this. I don't want to see the kids, because I miss it. I miss it now. Never going to take it for granted again.
Fair. Thank you. Megan, what do you got?
I mean, I hate to say this, and I hate to be that person, because you guys are like super good people, but I miss being in a bar and like story time. Like I do. Like, I mean, like I miss like hanging out with my friends, even if they're strangers. I miss meeting people. I miss talking to people, hearing like, what have you done? Like, make it funny, make it emotional, whatever you want to do. But I miss other people. I miss engaging with conversation. That's the biggest thing I do miss, and that's what I look forward to. But the other thing that I don't think will ever be the same is just in my profession, honestly, being loosey-goosey with housekeeping and whatnot. My staff is now like, we are going to be militant. I don't care if it's the flu, the cold, I don't care if it's like gingivitis, like we're cleaning shit up. Like we are taking precautions. So, and I kind of think like for a while, that's how hopefully people will be, is a little bit more cautious, because, you know, even the flu numbers versus the coronavirus numbers, like, come on people, like that doesn't need to happen. So that's kind of where I am with it. So yeah, cheers.
Can I say something, Megan?
Oh, yeah.
Megan, I miss that too.
Yeah,
I miss being in the bar, I miss coming home at 1 o'clock in the morning and regretting it. Oh my God, I miss
Stealing
it.
somebody else's Uber? Come on.
Oh my God, I hate that. This has made me grow up. I hate it.
Right? I know.
I miss
Right?
coming home at 2 o'clock in the morning and my son be like, Dad, why you was up so late? I don't know.
I was telling a story. Right? Like, this has been the worst thing for storytellers, unless you're a writer, which I love to write, but still.
Oh my God. I love hearing people tragic stories at a bar. Oh my
Right?
God. I'm a good listener.
We do. Right?
Me, I'm here for you, Crystal. Is the baby okay?
Oh, thanks, Dad. Thank you.
He's sitting on the couch on his
Dobby.
You
tablet.
weird. You say, oh my God. He's gonna be okay. Little fall, don't kill him. He be fine.
Wow. Yeah.
I forgot,
No, I get it.
Megan and the rest, I forgot. Do you have any social media, anything that you want people to follow or?
You on Instagram, Megan?
I am. I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you. Let me look.
All right, Shauna, give us yours because you have a dance studio there. So any social media you want us to follow or a project you're on?
Sure, if you want to follow my personal one and you can see me moving and grooving, it's Shaunzie, so ShaunzieJoy. Shaunzie.
Okay, perfect. Ashley, I didn't ask you because I know you do some modeling yourself too. Anything that you want to share with everybody?
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. So I'm making a documentary about the Mothman. I don't know if you guys heard of that, but I'm weird. I'm launching a YouTube channel about a bunch of other really weird shit. So if you like that kind of stuff, I do modeling, and then I also do some sex work online. So you can follow me on either Twitter or Instagram at It's Asherz, ITSASHERZ. And then from there you can do other links. Oh, I have a podcast too. That's right. I have a podcast. So I do kind of everything. If any of that interests you guys, feel free to find me there. So
Awesome.
You sound like you're like a radio host to a show, and I was gonna say at
Yes.
your
Yes,
voice
great
is like,
voice.
so like you want to keep listening, right?
that's
Yeah.
everybody
Keep
says
talking,
that. So
Ashley.
I have a gift. That's what I'm going to use it. So.
And Pat, when he puts it up on YouTube, we'll cite everybody, if you want it to, if it pertains to
Okay,
business.
cool.
And then Crystal, what's one thing that you're gonna miss that probably won't change after all this? And what's something that you're looking forward to?
One thing that I'm gonna miss that's not gonna change.
Or that's gonna change. So what's, after COVID, we're not gonna be able to do a lot of the old stuff. So what's something that you're gonna miss?
This sounds so like dumb and it's not really meaningful, but like me being like the me I am, I'm really gonna miss like going to like Ross and TJ Maxx and just walking around and buying shit I don't need, or like doing just regular Target runs, because I used to love doing that. Like I'd get my kid in the car, I'd be like, come on, let's go, we're gonna go walk around the stores today. Like it's not even that like I'm like materialistic, but it was just like a little, like when I'm home, I just like to like go out. Sometimes we don't even spend money, sometimes we do, but it's just like being able to do it. And now I honestly feel like even after like all this, like we enter like phase 1, 2, 3, I don't plan on going out. Even if they were to reopen up, I'm not gonna go. And it's sad because I love doing that. Like my son loved it. I'll be like, you want a toy today? Let's get a toy. Like you've been good this week. Like, and it's like, nah, I can't even do that. And that sounds like, I don't want to sound shallow, but it was like something like I look forward to doing sometimes, like just to get out of the house and do stuff. And now you can't really.
What are you looking forward to then? Since you're not really going to go anywhere, what's like the first thing you're going to do when they lift all this?
When it's 100% lifted and it's like not 100% safe, because obviously we all know this is never going to go back to normal. We're never going to be 100% safe. Like I'm going to look forward to seeing my family. Like my sister lives in Fort Worth, Texas, which is like 6 hours away from me. And she normally comes like spring break and summer and like whenever her kids are out from school. Like I miss seeing her and like my nephews and my other sister who lives in Houston and my parents. So I haven't seen any of them since, I haven't seen my parents since like last year, I think. But my sister, I got to see her for my bachelorette weekend. And then after that, she was supposed to come the weekend after for spring break and then my wedding. And it's like, now I don't know when I'm going to see her, or like my niece and my nephews. So
Yeah.
hopefully I get to see my family once this is all.
I know. Pat, how about you? What's something you think will never be the same again, and what you can't wait to do after all this?
You know, I think things will go back to normal, and maybe that's me being an optimist or unrealistic, but I don't think that this is. I know that this has affected us like hugely. You know what I mean? Like, there's no denying that. We're all living proof of that. But you know, this doesn't have to be. This is some shit, and we're gonna get through it. But like, you know, we all kind of lived on after 9/11, and you know, our parents lived on after Kennedy was killed, and you know, shit happens and along the way, and stuff changes. But then, you know, for the most part, we kind of regroup and then keep moving. And I don't think. I mean, look who I'm talking to about 9/11. Shit, you know. But I don't think that like when the dust settles on this, that like our lives are going to be irrecognizable. If you know, I think for the most part, it's going to be the same. You know. Because it hasn't been that bad, because there hasn't been this huge, like, all of the things that, all the oppression that we're experiencing right now is due to us trying to avoid this, like our fear of the virus. It's not like, it's not like it's really causing us to do this. It's not like stuff shut down because the people that work there are fucking dead, you know? It's like stuff shut down is because they're telling everyone, okay, don't go outside your house, and people aren't leaving their house. You know, once people decide to leave their house again, everything will just open back up. You know, I could see there be some kind of like restructuring as far as work goes, because I think a lot of people are realizing they didn't have essential jobs, and it might make them rethink about what they kind of do. And that's obviously going to put us in a different spot. But, you know, I don't think that there's going to be anything when the smoke clears that I used to love to do that I won't be able to do anymore.
What are you looking forward to the most?
What am I looking forward to the most? I mean, I'm going to give the cheeseball answer, and I'll give the honest answer. The cheeseball answer is like having my kids enjoy the world again and going, you know, fucking whatever. I don't know, taking them out for
God, I'm such an asshole.
Ice cream and shit. But the real answer is like, no, is like going to a bar, like, and talking to strangers and getting drunk and having a good time and singing along to shit on the jukebox, and then getting a burrito and watching drunk dudes fight in a parking lot.
Oh yeah.
And then going home, you know, falling asleep with a cigarette in my mouth and almost burning the house down. You know, I mean, like that.
Jesus, Pat.
Just being, you know, like that, like just being like
Never
alive
change.
and having fun. No,
Yeah.
I tried.
I can relate to that. So, I mean, I already talked about it. I miss my family, you know, being able to hug them and see them and eat meals together and things. But I think the thing that's never going to be the same, and here's my shitty answer. So the thing that's never going to be the same for me is like getting hit on at a bar. Like, dudes are not going to come. I'm not going to let some person come up to me and like touch
Hey,
me
what's up, mama?
or kiss me or like be near me anymore. Like, look at Pat's face. He's like, really? No, like, that's going to change forever. Like, you can't just bring somebody home from the bar anymore. You're going to get the fucking Rona.
She's going to have a damn thermometer.
First of all, there is shit out there that you can catch from bringing strangers home from the bar that is 10 times worse than the coronavirus.
I'm sorry, gonorrhea.
Or all the other viruses that we don't have vaccines for, like herpes, like AIDS, like fucking HPV. Like, and you're worried about like having a sinus infection again?
Right.
Stop.
Dude.
It's true for real though. I mean, seriously, like whatever. Like I said.
Okay, can I ask this really
No.
quick? Do y'all think like this whole like being at home, like whole shelter in place, do y'all think y'all went through like, you know how people go through stages of grieving, like when, you know, you have someone who passes or whatever. Do y'all think y'all went through like different stages of grieving, like when this whole thing started? Like the first stage, like, oh, it's not that bad, it's not a big deal, and then like whatever, like worked up to like wherever you're at now?
We all have PTSD. Every single person on this Zoom call right now has some form of PTSD, and everybody in the world, like, we are going to come out of this. You know who's going to make the most money besides Always Green Environmental Services?
Therapists.
Fucking therapists.
And you know what we all should be doing right now? Our online fucking therapist training is what we should be doing.
Right?
Should be doing, right? Become a therapist. Well, here in Louisiana, there was Hurricane Harvey in 2016. So people here already have PTSD because every time it rains, everybody's scared it's going to flood like how it did back then, because places that didn't flood flooded. So literally, like, every time like high rain is forecasted here, they're like, come get your sandbags, stores close early and everything. And then, like, when was it, like yesterday or 2 days ago, or was it last? I don't even know what day it is anymore. There was a tornado that like came through like Mississippi to like Louisiana. Everybody was freaking out because it was like raining and all this shit. I was like, people are already, like how you said, have PTSD from being home and all this. And then the people that already have PTSD from when the flood happened, like, it's just messed up.
You know, that's something I never thought about because I lived in Chicago my whole entire life. Never moved. I moved to the north side once for a year. That was it. But otherwise stayed on the south side. And we don't have natural disasters here. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't have,
Florida was like whole 5 year. Totally.
Right, but
Florida
that's the thing.
Like, listen, we invented this.
Think about everyone.
Don't eat all your snacks in one day.
All you coastal people that have gone through the different hurricanes and stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah, that's got to be kind of like this. It's just like, it's really fucked up, and there's a lot of restructuring and rebuilding, but you guys rebuild, you know.
Arkansas had a tornado hit 3 weeks ago, tore up everything. The day right before the shelter, like the week before the shelter in place, you know, Nashville had a tornado that fucked up the east side. So they went from a tornado to this. So, yeah, like living down south was kind of strange. Like, they was talking about we might get the tornado. Now I was like, look, guy, you gave me COVID. Don't take my lights out. Don't do anything.
Take my roof, don't take my house.
I can't take both. Oh my God.
And I hate to say that too, but Florida, I mean, we're rolling right into hurricane season.
Yeah.
June 1st.
I heard about that.
We are worried, totally, especially in my industry. You know, there's a lot of business related issues that we deal with refunds and travel insurance, things like that. But just us as Floridians and anyone coastal, like June 1st, like that's hurricane season. Like, I can't even imagine being in this state of mind and just how everybody is different. Everybody's different. And then they announced the other day that they don't think they're opening up hurricane shelters. So if something comes through, you're shit out of luck. Like, if you live in a mobile home, if you are homeless, they are not opening up shelters. And that's a really scary reality for us down here. So we have that obstacle next.
That's awful. Well, does anybody have anything else to add before we wrap it up? I know I've said it like 3 times and we're going to wrap it up. You guys have been great. I'm so glad we could get representation from all around the U.S. It's really cool to like know people, places other than Illinois.
Come on down for vacation, looking for business.
Real.
Yeah. So Crystal and I actually met through Hilton. We both worked at a Hilton. And Crystal, they shut down that Hilton. It's closed right now.
Right
So
now.
they actually closed the doors to the hotel, which I've never seen in my life. Even 9/11 I was through, we didn't close our doors.
Oh, all the downtown hotels are closed. It's just engineers on overnights, and then that's
in
it.
Texas, it's different. In Texas, all their hotels stayed open. And actually, I have a friend that worked at that hotel in Fort Worth that I originated from before I went to Mount Prospect. Their hotel got approached from, I don't know what government agency.
For a FEMA shelter?
Or like, no, for like I don't know, to keep people in their hotel rooms, like COVID recovery people in their hotels.
We're doing that in Illinois, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it ever happened or not. Like, she didn't go to work for like 3 weeks or a month and just went back this week, but she hasn't said anything like, oh yeah.
What they ended up doing is using a lot of those hotel rooms for high risk, like frontline people, like all the nurses and like the healthcare staff for McCormick Center, that are like overseeing that empty triage place. They have their own hotel where they just gave them the whole hotel, and you guys just stay here. You know.
Yeah, and just because we pulled the stats, I don't know if you guys are interested in Chicago, but so McCormick Center in Chicago, which some of you know is a huge convention center, they turned it into a 3,000 bed COVID hospital. It's only able to do like low risk COVID patients, so it could be like people on ventilators and stuff. There wasn't enough, but 3,000 beds. Pat and I pulled the numbers today. Out of 3,000 beds, they've only had 29 total patients. Right now, there's only 9 patients there.
Right.
And they pulled over 200 healthcare workers, like contracted in them there. And right now there's, oh gosh, what was it?
89, I think.
89 healthcare workers for, like I said, there was
It's like 9 people for every patient.
People for every person there. And they spent, oh God, what was it? $14.5 million on constructing it or something crazy. So yeah, just to kind of, since we did the research, we should put those numbers out there. But there's a lot more to discuss. This isn't over yet. The economy is collapsing as we all sit in our houses. So thanks again for all meeting together and making.
On that note.
Yeah, on that note. Anybody who wants to have their social media stuff, shout it out again on our YouTube, because it's gonna go up on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll throw it up on the YouTube. Just send it to us. I emailed everyone, so you guys got my contact.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thanks, you guys. And
Thank you.
again, it's been an episode of broadcast live from the Lair, Chicago, and then New York, Ohio, Florida, Memphis, Tennessee, and Louisiana represent. Thanks, you guys. Bye.
Bye.
See you next time.
What up, y'all? My name is Roy Hobbs, man, from 790s Records in Chicago. My brother Dream Tech's on the beat. Just wrote this today, man. UACFTR fam, stand up. It's a little venting, so check it. First day of being distant. That really isn't bad. Staying home with wife and daughter, shit, I'm really glad. But something blown out of proportion, I know the risk. As long as I do the normal routine, I won't get sick. Wash my hands after everything, sanitize, which is wise, but supplies evaporated, which implies that this is the best option. Must be because the vapors get you high enough to be cool to never finding toilet paper. I mean, it's just like the flu, right? A little worse. If you get it, all you do is treat your body like a nurse. Take something for the fever, nausea, and nasal drip. Lots of fluids and some rest, then you'll be ready to sip. Some people just freaking out, some people feel at home. Some have families, some people here are just alone. All I know, this feels pretty good right now to me. So let's see if this really turns out to be. We can't return to normal because the normal that we have precisely the problem, and the problem's turning bad. Remember, when things turn worse, they'll soon get better. We just got to remember we're all in this together. We can't return to normal because the normal that we had was precisely the problem, and the problem's turning bad. Remember, when things turn worse, they'll soon get better. We just got to remember we're all in this together. Day 17 of staying home, and man, this shit's surreal. To the point I'm not sure exactly how I really feel. I love my wife and daughter, but we all just need a break. Bickering and all the tantrums are a little rough to take. Motivation's at a low. I still shower and shave when my lower gains feel covered in holidays. Shorty feeling it too. She's skipping to the age that is better to sit and play while wearing her PJs. Found a few homies caught it. Describe the peak. Is that a living hell? Not for the meek. Family all over the place is getting hit. One death is now multiples. Crazy stories, holy shit. Entire complexes held in quarantine. Violations, death, not from the germ, it's from a beam. This is not what we thought. This is not part of the dream. I guess it's true, things aren't always what it seems. We can't return to normal because the normal that we had was precisely the problem, and the problem's turning bad. Remember, when things turn worse, they soon get better. We just got to remember we're all in this together. We can't return to normal because the normal that we had was precisely the problem, and the problem's turning bad. Remember, when things turn worse, they'll soon get better. We just got to remember we're all in this together. Day 40 of being home. What can I say? I sure was wrong as hell at the beginning of this play. I feel like I understand the mind of Jack Torrance, waiting for the thread to snap for an awkward occurrence. Wife and I are on the same page, we work together, otherwise it's gonna get rough before it can get better. Especially since our daughter doesn't know or understand that she's at the cusp of how our lives are now are changing hands. Now there is a divide between the kind and the entitled pieces of shit who have no one else in mind. Those who feel that all for one is a path to harmony, while the others are out for self and idiocracy. This is the cleansing. The earth is getting rid of grime so the future can be seen the way it should with Papa Shine. Something was bound to happen. I wouldn't have bet the dime that it would ever happen in my lifetime. We can't return to normal because the normal that we have, that precisely the problem, and the problem's turning bad. Remember, when things turn worse, they'll soon get better. We just got to remember we're all in this together. We can't return to normal because the normal that we had was precisely the problem, and the problem's turning bad. Remember, when things turn worse, they'll soon get better. We just got to remember we're all in this together. It's a fucked up situation, y'all, but look, man, we're all going through it, man. We gotta support each other, man. We're in it together. My name is Roy Hobbs, man. ROYHOBES of 7 Oddities Records. You can find me at the number 7ODDZ.com or Roy Hobbs at all outlets. Man, wash your hands.